What's up LEGO fans, it's LEGO Man Cam, and today I want to make a video on a topic that I've never really done before, and this is going to be some really great LEGO Star Wars sets, but they have really bad minifigures. What determines a great Star Wars set for me is just one that captures the look and design of the ship or setting it's trying to create really effectively. And then what makes a bad minifigure selection is one that is just pretty boring, without any special characters or anyone with new or updated prints and designs. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it with the first set, which is the 2014 AT-AT. Now this is an awesome set from such a great time period in LEGO Star Wars. They are producing some amazing sets back in 2013 and 14. Anyway, this set includes just 5 minifigures at $110, being 3 Snowtroopers, General Veers, and an AT-AT driver. The minifigures themselves aren't super terrible, there's just nothing special going on here. They could have at least thrown in a Hoth Han Solo or Luke maybe, but you just get 5 plain Imperial figures and 3 of them are literally the same. The actual AT-AT itself is probably one of the best LEGO has ever done, and I do regret not picking this one up or even the recent one they brought out, so I'll be patiently waiting for the next one. Hopefully it has better figures though. Next up we have a really recent set that just retired, and this is from The Mandalorian. It's Boba Fett's Slave One. Well, actually Boba Fett's Starship. Anyway, the build here is really nice in my opinion. Sure, it's nowhere near as good as the 20th anniversary one from 2019, but at a much cheaper price, this one serves essentially the same purpose. However, the minifigure selection here is downright terrible. Sure, the selection of characters is okay, getting the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, who are 2 really main characters and were both during the scene in the show. However, only 2 figures for a $50 set is pretty poor. As well as the number of figures, both these figures have appeared in microfighters, making them essentially worthless. Now, I'm not someone who really cares about the price or the value of minifigures, but I do like sets having some exclusivity so they feel a little bit more special, and especially with both these figures feeling so easily accessible, this one just isn't great. Continuing on with the Slave One talk, next up is the Slave One, but from 2010. Now this isn't necessarily a ranking video, since I do think the 2010 version has better figures than the 2021 model, however that doesn't stop this figure selection from still being pretty poor. For $80, the set only included 3 figures, with one being a really bland Han Solo with limited detail, and when you compare it to the previous one from Cloud City, that one looked so much better. Bossk is by far the standout here though, but still looks pretty bland when you do compare him to other figures from the time. The Han Solo and Carbonite piece was a really welcome upgrade and it still looks amazing to this day. I just wish this set came with some more figures, like maybe a Cloud City Lando or some of the other bounty hunters, like how Zuckuss comes in the 2019 model. Now let's take a look at a set from the sequel trilogy, which I know everyone totally loves these movies, but anyway, this is from The Last Jedi and it is the Defense of Crate. The set itself here is fine, I guess. It's always just been a set that I kind of wanted, but also felt was kind of weird with the Outpost and the cannon builds. Anyway, the figure selection here is nothing special for an $85 set. Admiral Immat is by far the best character, but as someone who had like 10 seconds of screen time, did we really need him as a figure? Poe Dameron looks really nice with the headset molded in too, however the rest of the figures are super bland and disappointing. The Snowtroopers are direct copies of the ones from 2015, which yes, they were the same as they appeared in that movie, but some other figures would have been so much better. Imagine getting a Kylo Ren or a Force Projection Luke. Those 2 figures would have heightened the value of this set by so much rather than just 2 regular Snowtroopers. And then there's the Resistance Soldier, which again is a really boring character who imagine if they'd swapped out for a General Leia in that really large grey cloak that she was wearing at the end of the movie. I think that would have been such an awesome figure. Now let's go back to 2021 with the infamous Republic Gunship. Now this is a set that has been scrutinized so much over the past few years because of not only its figures, but the idea of it in the first place, the build itself, and the mistake LEGO made with the logo on the box. However, the minifigures in this one are a real letdown. Just quickly though, if you are enjoying the video so far, please subscribe. We're so close to 5,000 subscribers. You get 2 figures in this one, those being Mace Windu and a yellow clone commander. The Mace Windu is fine, but just a year later, they released the same figure in the Republic fighter tank, except that one had much better detail with some amazing arm printing. The clone commander as well was such a letdown, being the exact same figure released in the minifigure pack and in the advent calendar. Now LEGO has said they didn't want to include exclusive figures in UCS sets anymore, and this was the first set that they made that decision on, which is understandable. But to then only include 2 figures and both of them be pretty lackluster as well is a bit of a letdown. Also, the fact that they really wanted us to use the clone commander to act as a pilot was just really silly when they'd already made multiple clone pilot figures in the past. And even since then, LEGO also immediately went back on what they said by creating new and exclusive figures for UCS sets that are coming out recently, like the X-Wing and the latest TIE Interceptor. The TIE Bomber from 2023 was a set that we had been waiting literally 20 years for, and this remake did not disappoint. It included everything you'd want from a TIE Bomber 2, and had been brought up to LEGO's latest design and structural standards. However, the minifigure selection here is pretty poor in my opinion. For $65, only 3 minifigures is quite low, and no, I don't count the Gonk droid as a figure. The TIE Pilot and Darth Vader are dime a dozen, with Darth Vader literally appearing in a $15 mech too. Vice Admiral Sloane is by far the most interesting minifigure here, however, there's not really anything too special about her. She's literally just like every other LEGO Star Wars Imperial Captain or Admiral, just with a different face print and hairpiece. I feel like some kind of new variant of an Imperial figure that we'd never seen before would have been so much more interesting, or even throw in something like an X-Wing pilot or some other named character would have been really cool other than this super obscure and basic looking Imperial officer. Anyway, up next we've got a Clone Wars set all the way back from 2008. This is the Republic fighter tank. Now getting first things first, this is an awesome set. I love that we have this sort of collection of Republic fighter tanks now, where this 2008 one is just really huge, then the 2017 one is so much more small but accurate, and then the latest 2022 edition is just somewhere in the middle. As with all of these sets though, hence the subject matter of this video, this one comes with only 2 really average minifigures. In fact, they're actually just 2 regular Phase 1 clones, although one does come with a set of dark grey accessories. Now, this was the only set for those accessories to come in, which I guess is cool. However, I would have much preferred some more interesting minifigures rather than just 2 plain Phase 1 clones. There were a lot of different clone legions and designs to choose from, especially in the first few seasons of the Clone Wars. So I feel like LEGO definitely could have made better choices here, and 2 figures also feels really low at this price. Now we have a set from back in 2010, and one that really needs a remake. This is the TIE Defender. Now initially this ship was only seen in Legends, however in the 3rd and 4th season of Star Wars Rebels, we of course saw Grand Admiral Thrawn usher in a new fleet of these ships. Anyway, as we're here to talk about minifigs in this video, this set probably has one of the worst selections of minifigures of all time. You only get 2 figures, which is not very much at $50, and the 2 are simply a Stormtrooper and a regular TIE Pilot. No named figures and literally nothing special at all about these 2. Sure, the TIE Fighter Pilot probably has to be here, but they really could have included anyone else instead of a Stormtrooper and it would have made this set so much better. Also throw in a couple more minifigures too to just sweeten the deal. The fact that this set also cost $50 with just over 300 pieces is appalling. If this set were to be released today, it would probably cost around $80, which would definitely top everyone's most overpriced LEGO sets of all time list for sure. Next up, the Homing Spider Droid from 2016 is the second last set that we'll look at, and this one certainly isn't as bad as some of the others on this list. However, it could have been so much better. This one comes with Yoda and a Kashyyyk Phase 2 clone and 2 regular battle droids. Sure, it was great to get another Kashyyyk clone, and Yoda isn't a bad minifigure by any means, it's just that the set before this one, which was based on episode 2 rather than 3, was so much better. It came with 2 super battle droids, which are much harder to come by than regular B1s, and also a regular Phase 2 clone, but most importantly, it came with Stas Ali, an exclusive Jedi character. So I think this set's minifigure selection is just a downgrade from the previous set, which I don't think anyone wants to see, but as a set on its own, without considering outside factors, it's not too bad. The 2019 A-Wing from The Rise of Skywalker is the last set on the list, and there's a few reasons why I don't like this minifig selection. You get Snap Wexley once again, a figure who already appeared in a microfighter from a few years prior, and Lieutenant Connix. Now, it was cool to get her as a character, as she is played by Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher, who plays Princess Leia's real-life daughter, but her figure just isn't very interesting, with her torso print being the most interesting element. Similar to the Spider Droid, when you compare this one to the previous set, the A-Wing from 2017, that one came with Lando in his Return of the Jedi outfit, which was a really special figure. This set just doesn't feel like it has that wow factor to it with the minifigures. I think the fact that both are kind of irrelevant side characters too doesn't help, and they just don't stand out amongst any of the other regular Resistance pilots or fighters. And with that, those are my 10 picks for some really good sets with bad figures. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe and if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.